What's up, friends? Welcome into a game day edition of Rock Chalk Sports here on KansasNation.com. Thanks as well for listening to us over on Sports Radio 810 WHB in Kansas City and ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM. Appreciate you joining us as we preview KU and TCU. The Hawks 0-1 in Big 12 play. The Frogs are 1-0 as TCU knocked off Baylor on Saturday when KU went down to Orlando and lost to UCF. We're going to break that down here in the opening segment of Rock Chalk Sports, give you some status updates on Darren Peterson as well. Then we're talking KU football next segment. KU is going to, hopefully continue to make a big impact in the portal as they added 3 guys yesterday. If you follow us on socials at the Kansas Nation, you will stay up to date on everything that goes on in terms of the transfer portal. Talking NFL and college football playoff, kind of recap the weekend that was and look ahead toward the upcoming action as we were unable to do that yesterday. And then in the 5 o'clock hour, Top 10 Tuesday, Dan Courtwright, tell us what we got going on today.
Well, we have a very special Top 10 Tuesday, Sean. I'm glad you brought this up. It is my top 10 things that I'm too young for that I do anyway. I find myself increasingly becoming my father or just an older gentleman. I'm only 27 years old. I'm in the prime of my youth.
I feel like your prime was 5 or 6 years ago.
It probably was. You're probably right. But I still feel young. But at the same time, I'll find myself doing things, and I go, "Oh, what am I, 80? What am I doing?" So I've compiled a list, and hopefully, now that I'm bringing it to the forefront, it'll help me prevent becoming an old man.
Yeah, it could be. But like I've always said, you are going to be a fantastic old man.
I'm going to be a great old man.
Some of your tendencies, it's going to be great. We're going to hear from the 2-time national champion Bill Self, his press conference in full following our Top 10 Tuesday in the 5 o'clock hour when we're going to be, of course, on ESPN Kansas City. And then we're going to close out the show with a little revisit KU, TCU, and some college basketball game picks as well. Again, thank you for joining us, Rock Chalk Sports. Sean Kellerman and Dan Courtwright rolling you through this 2-hour show. But for this first segment, we're talking KU TCU on Sports Radio 810 WHB and ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM. Appreciate you listening. Very blessed to be here at the Kansas Nation Studios, state-of-the-art studios here, Dan, on Mass Street.
Yeah, right in the heart of Mass Street, off of 9th and Mass. Kansas Nation. We have a ton of different TVs. We're very blessed to have this opportunity, obviously. But we got a bar and TVs and a pool table and a golden tee. Every time I walk in here, we go, man, it's crazy that we work here. So really awesome place. Plus, you'll be able to hear the Crimson and Blue show and the Locker Room show. You can actually watch the Locker Room show on KansasNation.com during all the away games for Kansas basketball. So David Lawrence and Sean Kellerman will be here at the Kansas Nation studios doing the Locker Room show. It'll be live on KansasNation.com. That's where you can find all of our content, KansasNation.com. All of our shows will be on there, all of our articles, everything you need to know about Kansas will be on KansasNation.com, so be sure to check that out.
Yeah, KU TCU, the Big 12 home opener tonight that we're going to get into. But Saturday, as Dan alluded to, KU's back on the road. 11 a.m. tip, an early one, which is good for NFL football fans who have a couple of wildcard games going down a little bit later in the day on Saturday. But Crimson and Blue coverage on Sports Radio 810 WHB, and, of course, all the Jayhawk Network affiliates will start at 9:30 a.m. And then, as Dan alluded to, David Lawrence and I will be here in the Kansas Nation studios, and we'll be on video, KansasNation.com, for the Jayhawk Locker Room show for a variety of Kansas basketball road games. Right away, want to shout out Miles Schneer and everybody over at Crown Automotive here in Lawrence. They're on South Iowa. Get over to Crown Automotive. Find the vehicle that fits your needs. You can also check them out at crownautomotive.com. Miles Schneer and his team, first partners of us here at Kansas Nation. Always appreciate them, and looking forward to continuing that partnership. We're going to hear from Bill Self in full from his press conference a little bit later, Dan, in the show, but a couple clips from Hawk Talk last night that we also want to get to. Of course, yesterday we broke down KU's loss to UCF, and there's this whole storyline of Darren Peterson, the fact that when he's out there, he's dominating. Kansas generally is scoring more points. He had 23 of KU's 41 in the first half and ends up with 26. Banged in a 3 in the second half and then came out with just under 11 minutes to go. Did not return. KU ends up losing that game. But Bill Self last night at Hawk Talk spoke to the media and basically said, hey, we had practice. after his press conference, and we'll have Elijah play this cut for you. He said everybody was healthy at practice, which, again, took place after he spoke at the presser. At the presser, Coach Self said probable.
Yes.
Essentially, he was asked, Marco Jackson, Darren Peterson, are they probable? And Coach said yes. And then practice after, evidently, everything went well.
I thought everybody was healthy in practice. So yeah, there were no issues in practice from a health standpoint whatsoever. So, not knowing, I mean, I hate talking like this, right? Asking about health every day. Not knowing, a guy could get the flu tomorrow. There could be a plethora of things that could happen. But the bottom line is we had a full complement of guys and anticipate having them.
That phrase, the full complement of guys, is something that we are hoping doesn't have to be said too often moving forward because it's understood. Granted, injuries are a part of sports, but that's good news. DP came out, but sounds like practice went well. Everybody was out there, including Marco Jackson, who Coach said dealt with a slight knee thing. But everybody's healthy, and the availability report reflects that.
Right. There's nothing on the availability report right now that says anybody's going to be out. So, I mean, I'm fully anticipating that Darren Peterson will be playing in this game. And, look, there's a lot of talk about, shutting him down or whatever. And Bill Self's even asked about this in his press conference. We'll hear that later in the show. But there's been no talk in the program about shutting him down whatsoever. So I'm fully anticipating him being good to go for this game. Like he said, he's practicing. He should be okay.
Yeah, excited for that. He was really good in the first half against UCF. KU was down 44-41, but DP 23 points in that first half. He had separate stretches of 11 straight Kansas points and 9 straight Kansas points. Bill Self last night at Hawk Talk spoke on DP's exceptional first half.
He saw a couple go down, and he's so good and so talented, and I think that's the best that he has moved, in my opinion, maybe all year. Wow. And he said that's the best his legs felt, and then obviously second half, it got away from him a little bit, but yeah, he was moving freely that first half.
And that's the thing about Peterson's game is that everything is so easy for him, Dan. And I understand, we talked about this in detail yesterday. Check out our podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube from yesterday's show if you want a breakdown of our reaction to KU's loss and Peterson coming out and all that. But fans are frustrated. I get it. Nobody's more frustrated than Darren. The bottom line is for KU to reach its ceiling, for KU to go to the Final Four, in all reality, you're going to need him out there. Yeah. And there's no reason that KU fans shouldn't be in his corner cheering for him because like Devin Neal said when Devin Neal went to social media over the weekend and, there was some speculation about Jalen Daniels a few years ago. These guys aren't out here faking injuries, all right? This is legitimate, and I know that people have their feelings toward injuries or slight injuries or what they think are faux injuries, that sort of thing. This isn't the situation, and Kansas is going to need Peterson. And again, when he's out there, he's just such a special talent.
Well, and that's the thing that we've talked about is that nobody wants to be out there more than Darren, right? I mean, the kid just loves playing basketball, and it's just unfortunate that he has to deal with whatever this may be, right? Whatever the cramping issues are. But whenever you see him out there playing basketball, like you said, it's effortless. He makes it seem easy. Everything that he does, every little motion, every little movement that you see out there on the court, you go, oh my gosh, this guy is special. And we certainly saw it in the first half against UCF, like you said, with 23 points, just was phenomenal. Does it change the way that Kansas plays? Yes. Will they get used to the way that they're going to play with Darren Peterson out there? Yes, I do. I truly believe that. So it'll come with time. Obviously, you're seeing a bit of a grace period of kind of learning how to play back with that amount of talent out there on the court. But all in all, I mean, the kid is one of the best, if not the best recruit that I've seen come in during the Bill Self era.
Well, he hopefully has a lot more game action to prove that. And we're going to hear from Bill Self regarding blending with Darren Peterson because you look at the UCF game, very strange how Peterson gets 23, Melvin Council has 0 in the first half. Then in the second half, Peterson gets 3, Melvin Council gets 20. Of course, a lot of that is usage because Council, first of all, had foul trouble in the first half, but not being as aggressive, and Bill Self speaks to that, and how everybody needs to stay aggressive, not be deferring. I didn't see it as much, in my opinion, against UCF as when he came back the last time against Mizzou. First 8 minutes or so was really choppy, but let's hear what Coach said last night at Hawk Talk regarding KU blending with Darren Peterson.
When you got a guy that can score the ball and you'd like for him to get up, 7 to 10 threes a game and at least, and this and that. You got to do different things to look for him and screen for him, and he's got to do a good job of moving without the ball and things like that. That those things may not be your first option or your second option when he's not in there. So we'll figure it out. It may take a little time. I said that all along, but we'll figure that out. Those are good problems to have.
All indications, Darren Peterson's going to be out there, and KU is going to get a chance to have their full complement of guys as they have a must-win, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
must-win.
I think that's not something we're going to talk about.
Is it a must-win or is it a can't-lose?
January 6th, but it's like you can't go out and lose this game to TCU, and no disrespect to TCU, we're going to get into them. But, you can't start 0-2. You got to get the vibes back to being what they were the majority of the non-conference season, which was very, very high. So we'll put that aside for now. Last thing I'll say, I guess, is that it'll be exciting seeing Darren play at Allen Fieldhouse because when he's returned, you think about it, played at UCF, and then the two previous games he played in a different return were Mizzou at T-Mobile Center and NC State on the road.
He hasn't played since Green Bay?
You haven't seen him at Allen Fieldhouse. Yeah, actually in action until the Green Bay game. Didn't play against Corpus Christi, didn't play against Princeton. So looking forward to that and hopefully an electric starting lineup atmosphere. Let's talk TCU, a team that I think I'm guilty of it. I said it before we went on air today, Dan. They're just kind of a mid team in the Big 12, right? I mean, they generally are. They generally are somewhere between the 7 and 11 seed in the Big 12 tournament. But let's not forget that TCU came to Allen Fieldhouse not 3 years ago and absolutely clobbered us. It was 83-60 TCU over KU. Jalen Wilson, by the way, had 30 of KU's 60 in this game. And, of course, Mike Miles isn't walking through that door. Damian Baugh isn't walking through that door. Emmanuel Miller isn't walking through that door. But they have some good players, and they also have a pretty good resume. It went from a very, very strange resume at one point to a pretty good resume. When you look at it, they lost their opener to New Orleans. University of New Orleans. That's a bad loss, right? So then you're thinking, okay, this team's not very good. But then they blew out a couple other mid-majors. Maybe the most impressive game for TCU happened, and Bill Self alluded to this last night as well, in a loss. They lost to Michigan 67-63. That game was in Fort Worth. It was on November 14th. Maybe didn't think a lot of it. Michigan was highly ranked. But now Michigan is absolutely destroying everybody.
Is that the closest loss that there? Is that the closest win that Michigan has?
4-point win for Michigan over TCU. Again, at the time, you're TCU, you're thinking, we're 2-2. We lost to a good Michigan team who was ranked in the top 10 at the time. And then New Orleans, that's a bad loss. Okay, but then let's look moving forward. TCU, a couple weeks after that, picked up a win over number 10 Florida, who won the national championship last year, and Wisconsin. They have an overtime loss to Notre Dame, 87-85. Kansas, of course, beat Notre Dame. And Notre Dame, I think, is an NCAA tournament team this year. That was on December 5th. They have not lost in a month. They've got wins at North Texas and then wins over Incarnate Word, Oral Roberts, Florida A&M, Jackson State, and then the win over Baylor on Saturday. So wins over Florida, Wisconsin, and Baylor, that's a pretty solid resume. And again, I wouldn't usually say this, but I don't think college basketball teams are usually as dominant as Michigan. That's an impressive loss for TCU to only lose by 4 to a Michigan team that is an absolute wagon. Overall, TCU is 11-3, 1-0, of course, in Big 12 play. What else can you tell us about the Frogs?
Yeah, they have a couple of really good players on their program. First is David Punch. He's leading them in points right now with 14 points per game, 7.7 rebounds per game as well. Plays that forward position, kind of a smaller power forward, if you will. He's only 6'7". They have some other guys who are 6'8" and 6'9", but David Punch has a lot of length to him, and he's really good at getting those long rebounds as well. But like I said, 14 points per game, also 1.9 assists per game, 2.4 blocks per game, which is really high as well. So an excellent rim protector. Jaden Pierre is second on this in points per game with 10.6 points per game. He's shooting 41.5% from the three-point line, a really good guard for them. Xavier Edmonds, he's averaging 10.6 points per game as well. He's shooting 45.5% from the three-point line. He's also tall as well, but he can kind of stretch that floor, right? He plays down low sometimes, but he can stretch it out every once in a while. Micah Robinson, who doesn't start for them, I believe, but still averages 10.1 points per game and 24 minutes per game. He's averaging 5.3 rebounds per game as well. So they have a lot of big guys down low who can get those boards and play really excellent defense as well. Brock Harding is really good. He's not a great three-point shooter, but he certainly is a facilitator of the ball. He averages 5.9 assists per game. They have a lot of players who play integral parts, and they use a lot of depth. They utilize a lot of depth to keep a lot of fresh legs out there. But this is one of the best defensive teams that we've seen in the Big 12 in quite a while. They're good at getting those long rebounds. They're good at defending the basket. They're good at rim protection. They're good at guarding the three. And I believe right now they have a better defense than Kansas, at least in the Big 12. So, this is a very, very solid TCU program. Like you said, they opened up their season. They lost to New Orleans and then just have gone on a run since then of just quality losses, right? They have one bad loss. And like you said, they have the loss to Michigan, which was a 4-point loss. Then they had the loss in overtime to Notre Dame. Other than that, they have beaten Florida, like you said. They beat Wisconsin, and they went and they beat Baylor on Saturday. This team has momentum, and it's gaining fast.
TCU is not better than Kansas defensively from a KenPom standpoint, at least.
Okay.
KU is 7th in KenPom. TCU is 20th in KenPom in terms of defensive efficiency. And offensively, TCU is way lower in terms of KenPom than they are defense, as they're down near 100. So
just points. It was points per game is where I saw it.
Yeah, points per game. But the KenPom metrics, Kansas still elite. And Kansas, after giving up 81 points to UCF, held serve still in the top 10 in KenPom defensively. So we know that that's where Kansas needs to hang their hat on, and the guys have said that. Coach Self has said that. Interesting stat to keep an eye on tonight. TCU third in the conference in the 16-team Big 12 in turnover margin at 3.69 on the plus. Kansas is last. They're 16th at minus 1.71. We know that Kansas has not been forcing a lot of turnovers. Can they win the turnover battle tonight? We're going to hear from Bill Self on the Frogs. Sean Kellerman and Dan Court right here at the Kansas Nation Studios, downtown Massachusetts Street in Lawrence. Thanks for listening as well on Sports Radio 810 WHB and ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM as we preview the Hawks and the Frogs. Bill Self last night at Hawk Talk over at Johnny's Tavern West Lawrence spoke on TCU.
I think they're really good defensively. I mean, they're a nationally ranked defensive team. They've always played fast and scored the ball, but I think they're better defensively this year than they have been. That would be the thing that jumps out to me as much as anything. They're not ridiculously tall, standing height, but they play so hard and they do they're connected defensively and do a really good job there. And they still play fast. They still score about 17 points a game in transition. But the thing that's probably most impressive is how they played against the best teams on the schedule. They beat Florida. They beat Wisconsin. They beat Baylor. And then maybe the most impressive game they had, they lost. Michigan beat them, 4? Yep. And Michigan is averaging beating everybody by over 30 a game.
Maybe not quite as tall, not quite as long as they have been, but still very athletic, and they like to get out in transition. We know that Coach Dixon's teams always do that. KU also, not to bring up another bad memory, but they lost to TCU. Remember when the Hawks were the 1 seed in the Big 12 tournament? I believe that was back in 2018, and TCU was on the 8-9 line. Hawks had a senior Devontae Graham, and they went down early in Kansas City. So usually scrappy teams. Coach Dixon, it seems like, always gets the most out of his teams. And maybe he doesn't have the most talent from an individual standpoint this year, but they always seem to play well as a team. And we'll hear more from Bill Self. But what else on the Frogs?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jamie Dixon always does a great job in terms of twisting the sponge and getting every single amount of talent that you can out of his guys, right? They're not always the most highly recruited guys. They're not the most highly touted guys, but he always does a really good job. And I think that's a testament to what he does as a coach. And, like you said, they do like to get out in transition quite a bit. I think Kansas does a really good job in transition defense as well. But you got to hope that you tamping that down. You don't let them get out in transition by not forcing those turnovers and by getting those offensive rebounds and by, finishing all of your shots. So I think one of the biggest things for Kansas is to essentially win this turnover battle, because if Kansas can get the turnovers and Kansas can go out on transition, Kansas is one of the more fun teams that we've seen in transition. You just don't see it a lot because you're not getting a lot of those turnovers. You're not getting a lot of those steals. Now, you do get the rebounds, the long rebounds, and different things like that. We have seen Kansas in transition. But, that's one of the things where I think Kansas could run away with this, is if Kansas wins the turnover battle and beats them in transition, because I like Kansas defensively on transition against TCU.
Who are you looking to from an individual standpoint on KU to come alive? Because if you go back to the UCF game, something that we mentioned but probably didn't go in a ton of detail, and yesterday on Rock Chalk Sports, was the struggles of some of the guys. Bryson Tiller, 2 points on 0 of 5 shooting, 2 of 4 from the free throw line, misses only 3. You had Flory Bidunga not getting double figures, and he's a guy that Coach Self has spoken at length about needing to be more of a post presence on the offensive side, somebody you can throw the ball to. And then didn't get much from your bench, right? Cole Rosario had a good game against Davidson, didn't get a lot from him. Jamari McDowell played a little bit. Of course, his minutes are going to be eaten into a little bit with Peterson back. Jaden Dawson, we didn't see. Marco Jackson had a couple turnovers in 11 minutes. Just not enough individuals perform well. You had one really good half of Peterson, one really good half of Council, and Trey White ends up with 14 or 11. It seems like he's always going to put up numbers, but holistically, Kansas didn't have it. So who needs to start performing better, particularly tonight, because got to get to a point where Coach is able to trust his bench more?
Well, the easy answer is probably Darren Peterson, right? You want to see him go out and score 23 and a half again. That's the easy answer. But I think the right answer is probably Bryson Tiller. You need Bryson Tiller to be able to step up, because he's thrown out some stinkers lately. He's put together a few really not great games compared to where he was at the beginning of the year. So I want to see him be able to step up. They have a lot of really good forwards down low. So on the defensive end of the ball, I want to see him be that rim protector, that guy who can reach up and get those long rebounds, and I want to see him doing work down low. I want to see him hitting some shots too. I want to see him going out and pulling up and hitting some threes, hitting some mid-ranges, that kind of thing. So Bryson Tiller needs to step it up. In terms of the bench, I actually want to see Cole Rosario get a lot more minutes in this game. I think that, getting in those passing lanes and defending the arc, I think is really going to be a key for this, and I like everything that Cole Rosario does. It's just the offense hasn't really come to him yet. This could be the game where it happens.
Well, you want to see Peterson out there. You want to see him playing as many minutes as he can to where he's able to finish the game, particularly if this is a close one, which more often than not in the Big 12, that's going to be the case. Bill Self last night at Hawk Talk spoke on some other keys against TCU.
Keep them out of transition, because they're really good in transition. They always have been under Jamie. They get out and they play fast. I think we got to guard the ball. I'd really like to see that. Got to guard the ball better, and our switches need to be, on point. And then offensively, I thought the other day we did a poor job in playing. I felt like we played on top of each other. I didn't think our spacing was very good offensively. We didn't play through our post at all. I really think offensively there's many things that we can do and would be a goal to do better. But the biggest thing is, the most aggressive teams, not always, but the most aggressive teams 9 out of 10 times win. And we gotta be more aggressive and on all fronts.
That's Bill Self talking Jayhawks and Horned Frogs last night at Hawk Talk. Appreciate everybody listening over on Sports Radio 810 WHB and ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM. KU and TCU goes down tonight at 8 o'clock at Fog Allen Fieldhouse. Coverage begins with the Crimson and Blue Show at 6:30 across the Jayhawk Radio Network affiliates. So looking forward to that. Hawks looking for their first Big 12 win. If you're watching on KansasNation.com, Rock Chalk Sports will continue after this. Thanks for tuning in. KansasNation.com. Welcome back to Rock Chalk Sports here on KansasNation.com. KU TCU basketball getting underway tonight, 8 o'clock, Fog Allen Fieldhouse, 6:30 with the Crimson and Blue Show on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Right now, though, we're going to talk Kansas football transfer portal as we had a couple updates yesterday. First, let me tell you about Game Day Men's Health Lawrence over in West Lawrence. Go get yourself checked out. If you're a guy who feels like you're afraid of going to the doctor, maybe don't like seeing the white coat. Dan says white coat phobia.
White coat phobia,
as they
it's
say.
real.
Comfortable setting over at Game Day Men's Health Lawrence. Did you know that 60% of all guys experience ED at some point in their life, and 50% of all guys by the age of 40 will experience low T? If you don't know where you're at, but perhaps you don't have the energy to go to the gym, to be with your family, to go to work, have energy for things that you want to have energy for, perhaps your sex drive is not where you want it to be, they can help you out over at Game Day Men's Health Lawrence. They do a blood test. Your first visit is completely complimentary, 3-step process. They will take care of you. Plus, Dan, really comfortable setting over there, and appreciate Mitch Bales and his entire team.
Yeah, I mean, your health is so important, right? And like you said, the first visit is completely complimentary, 100% free. So why not go and check them out? Just go and check out the space because it's a really cool space, right? They have TVs, they have little waters and snacks and different kind of things. The friendliest staff. I walked in there the other day, and they play Rock Chalk Sports on their TV sometimes, and they go, "Oh my gosh, I know you from our TV." So like, oh, yeah, they're making me blush, but it's a really cool place, and be sure to go get yourself checked out because your health is so important. And I know guys like to push it off, me included. I like to push things off until the very end as well. I go, something doesn't feel right, but I'm sure I'll be fine. Let me just sleep it off or whatever. But go get yourselves checked out at Game Day Men's Health in Lawrence.
Appreciate their partnership. And again, tell them the guys at Kansas Nation sent you because, we really love when Mitch comes in here. He actually was on the show at one point. We had a little interview, and he told us all about the peptides, the low T therapy, all sorts of things that they've got going over at Game Day Men's Health Lawrence. Dan, transfer portal, this is an important week, important 2 weeks, in fact, because they continue to adjust this, the powers that be. As it is this particular year, for this particular upcoming season, January 2nd to January 16th is the portal. No spring portal window, and certainly more concise. And the coaches have often talked about how it's similar to speed dating. I mean, you got to find somebody you like, and you got to say, hey, we want this guy. You fit our culture. You fit what we need. Give us some updates on 3 guys that will be joining the Jayhawks in 2026.
Yeah, well, to your point on the speed dating thing, it's even more so like that now because there's no spring portal, right? So you have to get your guys right away. And, all the coaches are working day in and day out all through the night trying to, get some guys in who are going to fit those needs. And Kansas did get a couple yesterday. They got probably the biggest recruit over the last few years, I would say, coming into Kansas. Former 4-star linebacker Jaron Willis, from South Carolina, 6'2", 254 pounds, a big dude. He's a monster. Didn't really play a whole heck of a lot for the Gamecocks. Only had seven total tackles, 5 solo tackles. Did have 2 fumble recoveries this year, which I think is interesting, considering the amount that he did wind up playing. But this is the kind of guy that he has that raw talent because he's a former 4-star recruit, just kind of got lost in the shuffle at South Carolina, true SEC guy, now is going to be coming to Kansas. So this is going to be huge for Kansas to beef up that linebacker room. As we know, prior to the transfer portal opening, or I guess when it opened, Kansas only had 3 total linebackers who were confirmed going to be coming back. 2 of them are true freshmen this year in Josh Galbraith and Joseph Credit. The only guy returning confirmed on the roster was going to be Malachi Curvey, which everybody is super high on, but you still need a lot of depth at that linebacker spot. And I think it's going to be good to get a guy who's been in an SEC program, who is a highly touted recruit coming out of high school, to be coming into Kansas. This is going to be really, really helpful.
In this day and age of NIL.
In the transfer portal.
There it is. Very quick. Appreciate that. Everybody on the outside wants to talk about all these guys want is money, right? Money, money, money. And while I'm not doubting that's probably the most important thing, certainly factor 1A, maybe 1B, probably 1A. I get it. The other big consideration is opportunity.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You want to go somewhere where you can play. That's the bottom line. I mean, think about when you were playing elementary school basketball or anything like that, right? You want to be on the court. That doesn't change as we get older. It doesn't change the level that you are. You want to play. You want an opportunity. And certainly particularly at the linebacker and safety spots, which Kansas just got a few additions yesterday, as you alluded to. This is a great place to go and have an opportunity. Kansas is losing Lyric Rawls, the safety position. You're seemingly bringing back Taylor Davis and Mason Ellis. Ellis has dealt with injury, spent some time at nickel. Davis is going to be a stalwart at the safety position. You would think he's been in the program for a while. And then you've got Darion Jones and Brandon Schmelsley a little bit further down the depth chart, not quite as old as those guys, not quite as experienced. There's an opportunity to play at the safety position, and then you look at the linebacker. If Trey Lathan is indeed gone, then that's a big hole to fill. Joe Sipp evidently is in the portal. You're losing Bengali Kamara. There is major opportunity at those two positions defensively.
Yeah, 100%. And I'll give credit to Michael Swain, 24/7 Sports, fog.net, for this. Did report that Trey Lathan's technically not in the portal yet. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up because, more than likely, there's going to be people reaching out, but I'm sure that there are some negotiations happening with Kansas right now in terms of what they can do to get Trey Lathan back. So again, that's something to keep an eye out for. And I'm glad that you brought up the safety position because this next guy that Kansas did get in the transfer portal is a microcosm of everything that you were talking about is Jaden Harris. Jaden Harris spent his first 2 years at Miami. His second year at Miami, his sophomore year, he had 40 total tackles, 26 solo tackles, 2 pass deflections, a sack and a half, and an interception. He transfers to Georgia, played at Georgia this year, and didn't hardly play at all. He only had 6 total tackles, 3 solo tackles, no other stats to really, hang his hat on. So this is the kind of guy who has played at the Power 4 level, at a high level, been an impact player at Miami, transferred to Georgia and didn't play. And that's ultimately got to be the pitch to Jaden Harris, right? Is, hey, you remember when you played at Miami and transferred to Georgia and didn't play? How much do you like playing football? Because you're going to almost guaranteed be playing here at the University of Kansas. So I really like this pickup. I think it's going to be a excellent pickup for the University of Kansas in Jaden Harris. Obviously, we've talked about it. The safety position and the linebacker position are two of the most depleted positions that Kansas has, right? You lose guys like Laquan Robinson. You lose guys like Damani Maxson, your Lyric Rawls. I mean, just a ton of guys in that safety room where you're essentially depleted. And Kansas likes to rotate those guys a lot, too. So Jaden Harris is an excellent pickup in this transfer portal.
I'm going to give you the 8 commits according to 24/7 Sports for Kansas football 2026 transfer portal to this point. Also, according to 24/7 Sports, Kansas is the 23rd ranked portal class thus far, 6th in the Big 12. Oklahoma State is first, 19 commits to Oklahoma State. Texas Tech is second, of course. They're bringing in Brendan Sorsby, the transfer from Cincinnati. Yeah. Cincinnati finds themselves way down on the transfer portal list right now. Of course, still time open until the 16th. ASU is third. They're losing Sam Levitt. Iowa State is fourth. They're bringing in an entire new team. I mean, 23 commits right now for Iowa State. Colorado is fifth, and then Kansas is sixth in the Big 12.
That kind of goes back to – sorry to interrupt, but that kind of goes back to what we were saying. Like Iowa State, essentially any guy they reach out to, they're like, hey, you're a starter.
Oh, totally.
You're going to be starting.
And that's a lot to replace.
100%.
For what it's worth, Iowa State's former coach, Matt Campbell, now at Penn State, they've got the number 1 ranked class in the portal. For what it's worth, of course, Ben Bramer going over to Penn State. Penn State's going to continue to bring in a lot of guys. They're a program that certainly needs to bounce back after a disappointing year.
I will say,
a lot of Cyclones heading to Happy Valley.
Yeah, I will say this, though. Kansas has done a lot of work on the defensive side of the ball. Kansas only has 2 offensive players who have committed in the portal as of right now. And Jalen Dupree, coming over from Colorado State, 508 yards last year, 102 carries, really the workhorse for the Rams last year, but not really a home run hitter. He reminds me a little bit of like a Kareem Hunt type of running back where he'll get you 3 yards in a cloud of dust, right? He's really good up the middle. He's good at getting those 4, 5, 6 yards, that kind of thing. Again, not the home run hitter that maybe we would have liked. And now maybe Kansas does have that on their bench as of right now. I'm really high on Justin Thurman, obviously really high on guys like Corey Mockery and John Kelly, right? But you still probably need one more running back, I would say. No wide receivers yet have been confirmed to come to Kansas. I know that Kansas is in talks, right? You have some guys who are going to be taking visits and so on and so forth. But I like the fact that they're going defense first. I think that's really where you need it because a lot of those positions are depleted, right? You look at the cornerback quarterback room, cornerbacks you feel safe, you feel safe with, right? You have Jalen Todd and Austin Alexander. They're going to be coming back. You still need probably maybe one more corner to kind of just boost up the depth in that position, I would say. But safety and linebacker, like we said, those are the two biggest things that Kansas needs, and Kansas is really going hard on those two.
A note on wide receivers, because I'm sure we will be able to highlight them more when Kansas inevitably brings in a wide receiver or two, maybe three in the portal. Both Cam Pickett and Keaton Kubeka saying they're locked in for 2026. Always just feels good when these guys that you really like say that they're coming back. But let's look at the 8 guys who are coming to Lawrence in 2026. Of course, the first one, Jabril Conde, comes over from Grand Valley State. Just look positionally, Dan. 8 guys. You've got 2 on the defensive line with Conde and Amon Smalls, who comes over from Alabama Birmingham. You're losing the law firm of Withers and Dunn. So you need guys up front. You feel really good about Blake Harrell, but I like that a lot. I mean, that's good for the interior defensive line. You're returning on the outside Leroy Harris, Alex Bray, Dak Brinkley. Really like that for Kansas as well.
Yeah.
So then you look at the linebacker spot, an area that we knew Kansas was going to go hard on. That's 3 of the 8 guys. Linebacker Quincy Davis from New Mexico State, and then, of course, Willis from South Carolina and Landon Watson from Kentucky. So that's a good spot. Safety, Jaden Harris, you mentioned, comes over from Georgia by way of Miami. And then a couple other really nice pieces. You mentioned Jalen Dupree, kind of a big-bodied running back. Might not be the last running back to come in, but again, that's a good short yardage guy, at least how we see it. And then the other one is Connor Stroh, the absolute monster, 6'7" interior offensive lineman. He is listed on 24/7 Sports as an interior offensive lineman. I, again, would find that hard to believe for KU to slide him to a guard spot. He might be. Dom Pooney, of course, a guy who was 6'6". He played here at Kansas and played with the 49ers as an interior guy, really tall. So there's a chance. And you like Calvin Clements at left tackle. You assume that he will be sliding back in, but you still need a right tackle as well. So interesting to see where Stroh's going to fit in, but that's a huge get also.
Yeah, I think probably, safe money is going to put him on that right tackle spot just because of the sheer size of him, right? I mean, right away, he's going to be the biggest guy on campus, maybe. 6'7", 341 pounds, just a massive human being. He actually won the starting left tackle spot for Texas, and then after some bad games, they moved him inside to the left guard spot, kind of as a reserve kind of guy. So he's been working at that left side of the ball. Moving from the left side of the ball to the right side of the ball is a little interesting just because of the fact that it is different mechanics. You have to completely change the way that you have played the game. It's similar mechanics, but also it's just flipped. So if Kansas is able to get him in and work him in at that right tackle position, I think he's going to be a great addition as well. Like you said, we do really like Calvin Clements. I think Calvin is only going to continue to grow into his body and grow as that left tackle, as that starting left tackle, which you absolutely love to see. But yeah, I mean, just the sheer size alone, you're really going to need to figure something out. And Kansas needs a couple more offensive linemen, I think, right? You're still trying to look for probably another right guard, right? And Amir Herring could potentially slide over to the center position. I know that he snapped before, and he got a lot of play at the guard position last year. But Kansas is going to need to bolster up a little bit of the offensive line, I would say.
And maybe we haven't talked about that enough because in reality, you've lost Enrique Cruz, you've lost Kobe Baines, and you've lost Bryce Foster. I mean, that's not nothing. You know, you're losing your quarterback, of course, as well. Kansas will be getting some more guys in the portal on the offensive line, and it's nice having this piece in Stroh that the coaches, I'm sure, have an idea, whether it's Coach Kotelnicki, Coach Agpalza, Coach Leipold, they have an idea on where they're going to put Stroh, but also it seems like a little bit of versatility there just from an experience standpoint.
Yeah, you would think so, right? I mean, obviously you need – I mean, offensive line, like you said, I just don't think we talk about it nearly enough.
We probably haven't because that is a huge hole. Herring, you would think, would continue to be a starter, whether that's at center or at the guard spot, and then Calvin Clements, but that's still 3 spots you got to fill.
Yeah, 100%, right? But, like you said, you're losing Enrique Cruz. You're losing Kobe Baines, who has been a program guy here for a long time. You're losing Bryce Foster, who really was the head of the snake in terms of that offensive line position. So, you're going to need a big bolstering offensive line. And Connor Stroh, is he the best pass protector? No, but also when you're bringing in Coach Kotelnicki back, right, I think that there's going to be more wrinkles in the run game. He's a really good run blocker. And I think that with Kotelnicki coming back, however he decides to mold the offense, if he does, who's going to be calling the shots, whatever it may be, if Kansas does decide to implement more run game with whoever the quarterback may be, whoever the running backs are, jet sweeps, that kind of thing, I think you need to bolster it up and get the right guys for a run-heavy style offense. And we know that Kansas is continuing to look at different guys and try to get different guys back coming to Kansas to try to bolster up that offensive line.
What's the next position you want Kansas to go for? If Kansas were to say, hey, this guy the Hawks just got in the portal, what position are you hoping he is?
Right now, I mean, you got to go with wide receiver. I think just because of the fact that we talked about the safeties, we talked about the linebackers, we talked about the defensive line, which Kansas has got a couple of D linemen. You got an offensive lineman, which is good. You got a running back, which is good. You don't have any wide receivers coming in and out of the portal. And right now, you're bringing back Cam Pickett, which is great. Bringing back Keaton Quebeca, right? But you need productivity. You need somebody who has been an impact guy. And right now, Kansas really doesn't have anybody else except for Keaton Quebeca and Cam Pickett who are going to be coming back.
First of all, really excited about the marriage of Cam Pickett and Andy Kotelnicki. I mean, that's going to be fun. Think about Luke Grimm, what he did under Coach K. That's going to be fun. I felt like Pickett was not utilized to the best of his ability last year. Still put up some numbers.
Think about this. Wildcat with Cam Pickett.
Oh, run the Jayhawk?
Or Jayhawk.
Run the Jayhawk formation? Yeah, why not? But again, Pickett, more of I guess this is stereotypically because of his size, slot type receiver.
Yeah,
and we saw him a little bit in the backfield, which we really liked. That was a lot of fun, and it worked for Kansas early in the season last year.
I'm pretty sure his first 2 touchdowns were from the backfield, right?
Yeah. So if he's in the slot, then you still need your X and your Y receiver, essentially. And Quebeca, theoretically, could continue to improve and be one of those.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Kansas brings in 2 guys that they anticipate sliding in to be their outside receivers, and then Quebeca kind of that third option on the outside. I'm sure those talks are being had. I'm sure Kansas has guys on the mind. And then when that does come out, which it will, we'll be really excited to talk about whoever that wide receiver is for Kansas. But right now, again, 8 guys coming in via the transfer portal. Stay tuned in to kansasnation.com for any updates. Dan's got a transfer portal tracker on that. And Kansas, like I said, according to 24/7 Sports, has the 23rd ranked transfer portal class so far, 6th in the Big 12. After this, we're talking NFL playoffs. We're talking college football playoff as well on Rock Chalk Sports, kansasnation.com. NFL playoffs are set. No Kansas City Chiefs. I was thinking about this the other day, Dan. I am so glad that if the Chiefs are going to miss the playoffs, it happened like weeks ago, like so that we're not sitting here and that's the big story. Now the Chiefs can kind of, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it sucked. Everybody's like, oh, the Chiefs are out of the playoffs. You see everything on social media, eliminated all that. But now we're kind of just like, got past the season, got past those final 3 weeks, kind of sliding away from the storyline. And good, let everybody beat each other up and let the storyline be something else as we kind of focus on 2026.
Yeah, I agree. It is weird.
It would have sucked to have it happen in Week 18.
That's the thing. And Springer brought that up. He said he's had like 5 weeks to really kind of come to terms with, we're not going to be like, if it would have happened Week 18 and the Chiefs would have, lost out on the playoffs last game of the year with Chris Olduke and, at quarterback losing to the Las Vegas Raiders, you would not have seen me in this chair. I would have been I would have been inconsolable.
Yeah.
That would have been horrible. But again, you had some time to kind of let it sit, and you have some time to take a deep breath and focus on next year. And Kansas City, we have a top 10 pick in the draft. It's fine. And it's going to be weird, but it's going to be, I think, a little fun to kind of watch a playoffs without the Chiefs, because the playoffs are also nerve-wracking, and I kind of forgot what it's like to watch an NFL playoff game
without being worried
without
or scenarios.
Yeah, right, because you're looking, you even when you're watching, some other AFC teams, you're like, oh man, like I really don't want to see them. So I want them to win because I think the Chiefs match up better with them. And
it must be how Mizzou fans feel about filling out an NCAA tournament bracket. Like you don't have to ever actually worry
mean.
about potential matchups because your
Sure.
team's never in it.
Right,
So
that's
you just
fair.
do it for the fun and for the pomp and circumstance of it because you don't have to worry about potential matchups for your team. As a Kansas fan, if you're filling out a bracket, it's like, oh man, I think Creighton's going to beat San Diego State or whatever, but I don't want them to. And then you're feeling awkward watching the game because they're like, oh, well, my bracket has Creighton, but I also don't want to cheer for them because then they might face Kansas.
Exactly.
That sort of thing. So, yeah, it must be how Mizzou fans, constantly not having to worry about your team because your team is actually never, ever in the game. Never in a realistic chance to win anything. Mizzou's never been to a Final Four, which is just amazing.
Why do golf courses in Columbia only have 14 holes?
Yeah, because they can never get to the Final Four. Yeah, it's great. It's
great?
absolutely great. But anyway,
NFL
we
playoff
will
picture is
enjoy.
finally,
We will enjoy Anheuser-Busch's finest as we watch the NFL playoffs, and I guess are stress free and focused on the NFL draft. And we'll be excited when that comes around.
But we can roll through this NFL playoff picture.
But don't forget to follow us on socials.
Follow us on socials.
Yes.
At the Kansas Nation on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Kansas Nation on Facebook. Check us out on Kansas Nation on YouTube. Follow, like, subscribe, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts, and most importantly, kansasnation.com.
All right, NFL playoff picture, Dan. I'll let you take it away. Broncos get the 1 in the AFC, and the Seabirds get the 1 in the NFC.
Yeah, I'll start with the AFC. The Broncos did go ahead and clinch the 1 seed. Good for them. Fine. Whatever. You guys deserve it. I don't know if they deserve it, but Bo Nix has been really good. The Broncos have been really good this year.
Bo Nix looks like he's 32.
He does.
It's crazy.
I know. He plays like it. I mean, he's
good. I'm a Bo Nix guy, and you have always been hesitant, but he's solid.
Well, I think it's just because I hate the Broncos.
Well, yeah.
It was kind of like the only time I ever really liked the Broncos was in that Super Bowl 50 run whenever they had Aqib and Chris Harris.
Right.
That was really the only.
True.
And I didn't root for the Broncos. I was rooting for those two in particular. I was just rooting for a lot of interceptions for the Broncos, essentially. Von Miller was fun, too. That defense is great.
I remember watching that. So that was Super Bowl 50. So that was, 10 years ago or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember in my young age, so young, being like, why didn't Cam Newton try to pick up the fumble? Or why didn't he fall on it? And still to this day, I remember thinking that was the strangest thing. Like, why aren't you on the ground?
I'm surprised that's not more. I'm surprised that's not brought up more in terms of his legacy.
Yeah.
That he didn't pick up that fumble.
Right.
That was unbelievable. He just didn't want to get hurt.
Yeah,
I remember watching
very
that.
weird.
I was young too, and I was like,
it's like, get the football, man. It's a Super Bowl.
What are you doing? It's a Super Bowl, exactly. So for the AFC, the New England Patriots wind up as the 2 seed. They're also 14-3. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they're 13-4. They're going to be the 3 seed, taking on Buffalo as the 6 seed. That's a tough matchup. Buffalo has been weird this year, but Josh Allen's still good. James Cook has been cooking. I've said this publicly. I said I'm going to be rooting for the Jacksonville Jaguars just because I have an uncle who lives in Jacksonville and he's lived a very sad life being a Jags fan. So I'm rooting.
Hey, the Ospreys won the other day.
Huh?
The Ospreys won the other day.
Yeah, shout
North
out
Florida?
UNF.
Yeah, so he's got them.
Ospreys. He does have the Ospreys. That's true. He's a history professor at the University of North Florida. But I'm going to be cheering for the Jags.
What do the Ospreys do today?
I have a UNF hoodie, by the way. I'll wear it on the show sometime. But yeah, so the Jags are in the 3 spot. 4 seed is going to the Pittsburgh Steelers at 10-7, which is
the best record in the history of Mike Tomlin.
Isn't that great? Yeah, at least he didn't go 9-8. You know what I mean? That power to him. But that's going to be a fun matchup. Steelers, Houston, the 4-5 matchup. That's going to be must-watch TV. New England, they're going to be taking on the Chargers as the 7 seed. They're the last team to get in on the AFC side of things. That's going to be a fun game as well.
Oh, my God. Pittsburgh's gone 10-7 each of the last 3 years.
Is that right?
Yeah. There I was thinking that they were always 9-8
constantly. On the NFC side of things, the Seahawks, they did manage to get the 1 seed after defeating the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers drop all the way to the 6 seed, where they're 12-5 right now. 2 seed for the NFC, the Chicago Bears, Ben Johnson. What a tremendous job.
0-2 against Dan Campbell, though. 0-2
That's
in revenge
true.
games.
That's true.
0-2 think Campbell liked that a lot.
Oh, you got it. Yeah, for sure. But they're 11-6 right now, but they are the 2 seed. That's going to be a fun matchup between the Packers and them. 7 seed Packers. They're 9-7 right now. I still think the Packers, this is crazy. This might be my hottest take. They're 9-7 right now. I still think that they can win it all.
I think something's off with them. Because you and I were high on them early this season, and we're high on Jordan Love, but something's off.
Maybe a little bit. I like
Parsons
Matt
obviously
LaFleur.
not being out
Parsons.
there is a
That one
factor.
stinks. That really sucks for them that they're not going to have Parsons for this playoffs. That's going to be a fun game to watch. Panthers are the 4 seed. They're going to be taking on the Rams, who's the 5 seed. That's going to be a really fun game as well. Also, just it's the name bias alone where I just don't see the Panthers winning.
They just beat the Rams, though.
I know. It's hard to beat a team 2 times in a row or two times in a season.
If you say so.
I think it is. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. I just don't see where. I think Matt Stafford is going to pick it up, and I don't know. Maybe the Rams win their second Super Bowl in the last few years. I think that'll be kind of fun. But the Eagles are going to be taking on the 49ers. Like I said, that's going to be a 3-6 game. That's going to be a lot of fun. Seahawks are going to be taking on the lowest seed of whoever wins this as well. So all in all, I mean, it's weird to see a playoff picture without the Kansas City Chiefs in it. I mean, I'll ask you this: who's your dark horse and who's your ultimate lock for the Super Bowl? I'll go. We'll go. Let's go ahead and predict at least NFC and AFC championships.
Okay. Well, dark horse. I don't really want to say Bills just because of the Bills. They are lower seed, but I'm going to say the Texans because their defense is so good. Yeah, I don't know.
Daniel Hunter's going crazy.
And then same deal. I can't. I said that thing about Panthers Rams, but I don't think the Panthers are getting past the Rams. You know who I like in the NFC? The Eagles. For the same reason.
I hate
Eagles
that,
defense is so good.
That would suck, right?
The Eagles defense is so good. Yeah, give me.
You have a lot of really fun teams like
in the NFC Championship,
the Panthers and the
NFC
Bears.
Championship. Give me Rams and Eagles, and in the AFC Championship, again, it's so tough to predict, right? Because it's not a standard bracket. But give me Texans and Patriots.
So you think Rams beat the Seahawks?
Yeah, well, it depends because
if
they
the
might
Rams
not face
the Rams beat the
they might
Panthers, they'll be the 5
they might
seed.
Face the Packers.
Let's say Philadelphia beats the. Let's say the Bears beat the Packers.
Then the Rams would go up against the Seahawks, yes, and the Rams beat.
So you think Seahawks don't make the NFC Championship?
I don't know, man. Something doesn't feel right. Maybe it's just the Darnold effect, the name bias, or whatever it is. But
that's fair.
Anyway, real quick, yours because I'm going Pats Texans on one side, and I'm going Rams Eagles. Hard to predict with the bracket format.
Give me Jacksonville and Denver in the AFC Championship, and give me the Bears, Seahawks. 1-2 versus 1-3.
Okay, so we have covered now 8 teams of the 14 teams because neither of us even had a question. So love that. Hey, coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, Top 10 Tuesday, Bill Self and much more on Rock Chalk Sports, KansasNation.com. 5 o'clock hour here on Rock Chalk Sports, KansasNation.com. Thanks as well for listening on ESPN Kansas City. And if you're joining us on ESPN Kansas City, boy, how lucky are you? Just in time for a Dan Courtwright Top 10 Tuesday. First, though, Dan, Crown Automotive over on South Iowa here in Lawrence, crownautomotive.com. Great partners of us here at Kansas Nation.
Yeah, great partners. A whole line of new Toyotas and Volkswagens. 2 of the best cars you can buy, right, in terms of safety, in terms of longevity. Fantastic cars, obviously, with Toyotas and Volkswagens. And then they have a whole line of used cars as well. They will make sure to get you in the car that fits your lifestyle. So check them out, Crown Automotive here in South Lawrence, my neck of the woods, as you like to say. Always appreciate Miles Schneer and company. Great customer service, great salespeople, and so friendly. Just a great atmosphere. They're, like I said, they're going to try to make sure that you get in the car that you need.
I am really glad that you're doing this top 10 because I have said for quite some time that you're going to make a great old man.
Yes.
A lot of times, if we're playing slow pitch softball, you'll have like 1 beer, maybe 1.25 beers, and just just so full, just can't do it. Or oh man, I gotta be up in the morning.
Yeah,
all that. But I'm just very curious. In your top 10 things that you're too young for, but you do anyway. How are you gonna break this down for us?
So, I mean, I was just thinking about this kind of, over the holiday season, that I do a lot of old man things. And I won't give a lot of them away, but I just started noticing it, and my fiance started noticing it too. And
seriously,
I've had a lot of people tell me that I'm going to be a great old man someday, which I don't know if I should take it as a compliment. I'm going to take it as a compliment because I think I'm excited to be an old man. I think it'll be fun.
You're aging into your personality, I think, a little bit. Is it like wearing robes and slippers around the house? Is it waking up at 5:30 to put some bacon on?
I do wear a robe. sometimes
Yeah.
around
Is
the
it-
house.
is it
it's
putting-
It's nice, it's comfortable.
Is
It's
it
good.
putting glasses that people are actively drinking out of in the dishwasher, taking
No,
it
I don't
straight
do
from their
that.
hands?
I don't
and-
do
okay.
that. So that's the next step, I think. I'll go ahead and get it started. But this is my top 10 things that I'm too young for, but I do anyway. I'm going to start off with number 10. I don't know if you do this. I've started doing this. So I used to be a big shoes guy, right? And I still do. I like shoes. I like stylish shoes.
You
But
wear shoes daily, don't you?
I do. I started buying shoes based on comfort as opposed to style.
What are you
That's my
wearing? Are you
number
wearing
10.
the lawnmower?
No, I'm wearing. I got Ultra Boosts on, which
those are
they're. I
nice.
mean, those are like they're comfy though. Like that's the thing. Like they're stylish and comfy. There's a healthy mix, right? I'm not to the Air Monarchs phase or the New Balance phase yet. But if I'm ever buying shoes, I'm gonna try them on and see how comfy they are.
Have you ever
Because
tried on?
I need comfort in my shoes.
Have you
as
ever
opposed to
tried
style.
on the New Balance lawnmowers? The ones that
have
come
not.
with the grass
Are they
stains on them?
nice?
Oh man, they're great.
Are they?
They're great.
I can't imagine. I have these. So as you know, I play pickup basketball on Sundays out in Overbrook. I invited Sean, by the way, this weekend, and he was.
I had the
he
lamest
said,
excuse ever.
He said, "No, I'm too scared."
Yes,
that's what he said.
that was close. That was
Yeah,
close.
he said, "I'm too scared." He doesn't want to. We still haven't played one-on-one basketball.
We played
by the way.
one-on-one here at the Kansas Nation Studios.
No, that's not
In
one-on-one.
Our basketball hoop over there.
That's not one-on-one basketball. But I have these pair. They're called UFOs. I'll give them a free shout out because I love them. OOFOS. Their main spokesperson is Alex Smith because they're like the only slide that he can wear that makes his legs feel comfortable. I went ahead and bought a pair. I wear those constantly because they're the most comfortable slides I've ever put on in my life.
Should I buy a pair? Because,
you should.
dude, I wear slides around the house all the time.
Do it.
It's easier
I'm not
on
even
my
kidding.
feet.
Go to, I think there's like a Famous Footwear here in town.
Okay.
That's where I got them from.
All right.
Go and get, they're not super expensive either. They're like $30.
Yeah.
So comfortable.
Interesting.
And
I'm a big slides guy.
So I have a very particular, like if I know I'm going to be playing basketball, I will wear them to the gym. I don't put on my basketball shoes until I have to.
Right.
And I play basketball, and then immediately after we're done, I take them off and I put my slides on, and I wear them just because they're like orthotic. And again, I'm 27 years old. I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm buying my shoes based on comfort as opposed to style now, and that's one of my. I'm too young for that. I'm only 27. I can't be doing that stuff yet.
I actually agree.
I know. Like I'm not even kidding. I've gone to a store and I've like seen a pair of Nike Air Monarchs. I'm like, what? I almost bought a pair of shoes. They're like marathon running shoes. But the reason that they're marathon running shoes is because they have this like giant midsole that's like this big. And they're super cushiony. And I almost bought them just to wear around.
I really don't know what's more of a dad shoe, the Nike Air Monarchs or the New Balance lawnmowers.
They're both
as long as the grass stains are on them, you're good.
Right, of course.
All right, what's number 9?
Number 9 on my top 10 things that I am too young for, but I do anyway. I don't know. I battle with this a lot. It's drink unsweet iced tea and black coffee.
Yeah.
2 things that have no taste.
Yes.
Horrible flavor, but I love them.
I'm actually okay with iced tea. I'm not okay with coffee.
Right.
I just don't like coffee.
But that's the thing. Like when you're a kid, you want all the sugar.
Totally.
You want all the flavor, right?
This is a good one on the list because you do drink black coffee.
I do drink. I drink
but
straight.
you slug it.
I
Like,
do.
You go,
yeah, a little cup of mud. You know what I mean? I need it, but as much as I want to, like every once in a while, I'll treat myself. I'll go, I'll throw some stevia packets in there, or I'll go to Starbucks or 151 here in town, and I'll get some sweetener stuff in there. But I'm a black coffee guy. I'm an unsweet tea guy. Like, when did that change? I don't know when that changed in me. I used to love sweet tea and I used to love sugary drinks.
Oh man!
And now I'm drinking like dirt.
I mean, you know me. I still love the sugary drinks. Like, give me the last night I'm at home eating sour Skittles. I'm like, what am I doing? I had a sugar-full energy drink earlier.
Quite often,
I am not this age. I am not 11 years old,
dude. Quite often, like I'll find myself like drinking like an unsweet tea or a black coffee, and I'll be like, what happened to my youth? Like, where did it go?
It seriously is like a microcosm of us.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm older than you, but I'm having sour Skittles and energy drinks, and you're having black coffee.
I know. Yeah, I'm eating Raisin Bran.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I always make fun of Sean for being super old, but I act way older than you.
Totally.
I act so much older than you. But that one's like, that actually is one of the things that sparked this. Is I was drinking black coffee and I was like, where did my youth go?
Yeah.
Why aren't I drinking like a 52-ounce
And I'm
Coca-Cola
over here eating gummy
with
bears.
Actually, yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. Oh man. So, all right, number 8 on my top 10 things that I'm too young for, but I do anyway. Enjoy yard work.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. When I was a kid, I used to mow the lawn. I hated it.
Totally. It was a
Absolutely
chore.
hated it. You know,
But now it's
love
like,
it.
oh, I'm outside. I'm getting
Love
vitamin
it.
D. I'm getting exercise.
Love it.
The beer after this is going to hit.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm 27 years old. I shouldn't enjoy this.
Do you have
What am I,
admiring
50?
your lawn anywhere on here? Because that should be a.
No, I don't
honorable
have that.
mention.
I kind of lumped that in.
Yeah.
That's enjoying yard work. Like enjoying the fruits of your labor as well
Yes.
is also enjoying your yard work. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, like pulling weeds and mostly mowing. And we have that koi pond in our backyard that we
Last time I was over there, it was a
dismantled.
mess. Is it better now?
It is.
I mean, there
So
was
we-
just
well,
goop and sludge.
So we completely drained it all, goop and sludge. We completely drained it all and we filled it in with dirt. There's
That's
still
good.
a remnants of what, but there's no water anymore. So there's no standing water, which is nice. So yeah, we did get rid of the koi pond and there's still some rocks around, but like something about like if you'd asked me at like 12, 13, 14 years old to go and mow the lawn and dismantle a koi pond, I'd have said you're out of your mind. But now,
yeah.
come
Best
in.
is you do it a little bit earlier in the morning before football starts on a weekend.
Man, I know it's you
Get
still
your workout, get your
A
shower.
little bit of dew in the air, but it's still nice. My perfect day is like a Sunday where I
I hate Sundays.
wake up.
Also, January is the Sunday of the calendar year, and I hate that.
Why don't you like Sundays?
I don't like Sundays
What's wrong with that? It's a
because
day off.
I don't like Sundays.
It's weird. That's a hot take, but
You're just. I don't think it's that hot of a take. You're just.
we did a whole top 10.
hating.
We did a whole
You're
top 10
absolutely
Sunday activities one
hating
time.
Monday coming.
I guess
You are. Anyway,
that's a bad take. Sundays are that's
doing
Dan's
laundry,
Day. That's my day.
whatever.
I'm
It's actually the Lord's Day, according to many.
fair.
So you're going to need to 50-50, I guess.
We can share, I guess. Number 7 on my top 10 things that I'm too young for that I do anyway. Being annoyed when things are too loud. This happened yesterday, actually.
Man, you're never going to be able to have kids.
God, I know. Dude, yeah, no. Christmas at my family's house with two kids running around.
I can't imagine.
I know. I'm sure you can't. But I went to the movie. I watched Marty Supreme yesterday. By the way, great movie. She had Timothy Chalamet. Excellent movie. You should watch. It's about ping pong.
I had never heard it until you brought it up.
How have you never heard it?
I had never heard of it.
Okay. Well, Marty Supreme. It's about ping pong. I went to the movie theater with a couple of my buddies, and the previews were so loud.
And then
And I like turned to my buddy and I was like, "Is this not like bothering you?" He's like, "What?" I was
It's the movies,
loud."
man. It's supposed to be
I
loud.
know. But like a car radio or like a motorcycle that's driving down my street too late at night. I'll stand in my window and go, "You kids," or whatever.
oh yeah,
I am 27. I should be at concerts, living my life and blaring music, and I'm not. And I get annoyed when things are a little too loud.
all right. Well, again, that's going to be a struggle. That's going to be a struggle.
I
when you
know.
have kids.
And things are only going to get louder.
Yes.
I'm aware of this. I know. But like dogs barking or people playing their music too
Is
loud.
going to the movies on a Monday on this list? Because it could be.
No, I did go to the. No, that was the only day that worked for all of us. But yeah, that is funny though. Yeah, we went to the movie on a Monday night. That was a weird choice, but it was a good movie by the way. You should check it out. Check it out. Number 6 on my top 10 things that I am too young for, but I do anyway. Watching people work on my house and asking them about it. So like, we had a plumber.
Do you guys have a guy? Yeah.
We had a plumber come over. Actually, just this morning. We had a guy come over and check out our site. We're replacing some pieces of our siding, not all of it because that's way too expensive. But like, there's pieces of our siding that needed to be replaced. Yeah. And so this guy was out there, and I was standing out there just with my hands on my hips, just like, so what do you?
Oh,
what do you think about that?
I know.
So like, how do you?
I know that they absolutely love that.
Oh, they hate it. You know they hate it.
Yeah.
But I don't care. I'll do it anyway.
Yeah.
It's great. We have a plumber coming to check out our stuff, and he's been there a few times, and I'll just stand there in the doorway, just hands on the hips, go. So what do you? So and that goes to okay, interesting. And so how do you do the? And what do you? And so, okay, is that a socket wrench? Okay, nice. And it's something that I really enjoy, and that is the most dad thing in the world.
It really is. A lot of these are dad things, and you're not quite there yet.
No, I'm not there yet. I do have 2 dogs, but yeah, I don't know. I just something about it. I never was really like. Again, when I was a kid, and we had people over like checking on our stuff or doing whatever, like I wouldn't care. Like, get out of my. I'm trying to watch SpongeBob or something, you know. But now I'm like, I'm locked in. Like, what's this guy doing? I want to know what this guy's up to.
At any point, have you put on a tool belt to just go over and just let him know that you're available to help?
I don't have a tool belt. Okay. That is something that I might put on my Christmas list for next year.
You could put that
tool
on
belt would be great.
Put that on your Christmas list and just put it on. Don't never actually use it, but just so they know that you're there in case they need a hand.
Dude, I got tools. Tools is I got like a level for Christmas. I got a level, and then I got like utility knives, and I was so stoked about it. It was great.
No, I've been hooked up. My family's hooked me up with tools the past couple.
It's great,
years.
But that's another thing where it's like, I'm too young to be getting tools and being excited about it. You know what I mean?
You have a house.
I know, that's true. I'm
Number 5.
Number 5 on my top 10 things that I'm too young for, and I do anyway, antique shopping. I love me some antique shopping. I love it. The antique shop down here on Mass, I'll go in there all the time.
Went
Just
to
look at stuff. Are you an antiquer?
I don't hate it.
It's fun.
I don't hate it. Went to this place on 9th that I think recently closed down. It was called Goose something.
Sure.
But picked up some Christmas gifts there for some family.
Nice.
It's nice. I mean, got some perfume from my mom.
Yeah.
And you know, they had some old school games, that sort of thing.
Yeah. But dude, I used to be dragged into antique shops when I was a kid.
Oh, totally.
Like I didn't want to go. It smells like mothballs and old people. I don't want to do that. But now I'm all for it, man.
The allure of it, the ambiance.
It's so great.
Yes.
It reminds you of a time that once was. You go, oh my gosh, this is what people.
And you just find things you don't
put
find
in
other
their
places.
house in the 70s or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. No, I love me some antique shopping, man. That's one thing. Like me and my fiance, we'll like
clear out a Saturday, man.
That's like date night.
Yeah.
Like we'll go and we'll just go to an antique shop and wander around for an hour. It's great. It is absolutely great. Number 4 on my top 10 things that I'm too young for. Playing the New York Times crossword. I do it almost every day. I try to, at least. But
you do it on your phone, so you stay young.
I do it on my phone. That makes me feel young. That is the oldest thing I do.
I think I've told you this story before, but my buddies in college, Sam and Big Daddy.
Yeah.
So we had a shift together over at Hotel Ellsworth on Daisy Hill. God, so many great memories there. But we were deskies, where you get like $7.25 an hour. But we would have a shift together. I think it was on Sunday nights. Sam and I would have a shift together 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. Wednesday nights. And then I think we did Sunday nights as well. And Big Daddy was at the desk on Sunday nights.
Nice.
And we started doing this thing where we would do the crossword like in the UDK or whatever. And then eventually it got to the point of the semester. And it was fun because it was like a Sunday. You just had the weekend. And this is like a Sunday night where you're not going out and drinking or anything.
This is before cell phones and the internet because
So it was funny because Wednesday night you would get like the dollar night at the Hawk people. They would come in and that sort of thing. And it was a little busier, but it was dead on Sunday nights.
Sure.
So 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. shift, we would do these crosswords. So Big Daddy would seriously drive around campus and he would get the UDK, the New York Times, the USA Today, the
awesome.
Lawrence Journal World. Shout out to Henry Greenstein, KUSports.com, and the Lawrence Journal World. And the crosswords in all of them we would do.
That's awesome.
We would each do them individually. He'd get 3 copies of each. And then we would just sit there and yell out when we found something.
That's awesome.
And if we got 100%, we would get to sign it. And if we even missed one, then it was a loss.
Like frame
but,
it. And,
But yeah, no. But hey, you know what?
Dude,
I was doing
okay,
that. I was doing that at 21.
That
so,
makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Because I like.
And the handwritten was great. But shout out to Big Daddy driving around campus getting those.
Yeah, shout out. What a trooper, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Was he just stealing them out of people's yards?
No.
Oh, he's
no.
buying
They
them.
have them available at the dorms.
Sure. Okay,
or
fair
on
enough.
campus. Yeah.
Fair enough. That makes sense. That makes me feel a little bit better. That makes me feel not as old because I love me some crosswords.
Yeah,
the New York Times mini crossword, I do it every day.
It's so much better doing it with pen and paper rather than pencil and
I
paper.
know,
rather
but
than
I like
phone.
doing it. I like timed.
Yeah.
Like I'll like time because on the phone it's timed.
Right.
So you're like going real fast and I'm like, oh, I got that one in 22 seconds. You know,
Right.
like, it was like that's just unbelievable. All right. Number 3 on my top 10 things that I'm too young for. Not knowing any new musicians. This is tough.
See, mine would be not knowing
any.
any movies.
See that, but so like you're a product of your time in terms of music, right? Like you were big on like Nickelback and the Killers,
Absolutely.
and like
Nickelback's
the
great.
Fray, right?
The script.
But like,
oh,
dude, but like.
Owl City.
Like, are there any new musicians that you listen to? I guess you're like a country music guy. So
I am a country music guy, but I really don't. And
Yeah.
I don't listen to music really in general.
Right.
Because if we're in the car, we're with our girls and we're listening to Elmo or Daniel Tiger or something. So I guess that's what I listen to.
Sure.
But I'm with you here. I have no idea who some of these people are.
Dude, I know.
Like Big X, The Plug. Who is that?
I
mean,
that's a new one that I just found, and I only listen to him when I'm working out.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's been around for like maybe 2 years.
No,
but
man.
like,
Give me 2008 to 2015
yeah.
pop, rock,
See, I'm
rap.
like, I'm right there. I'm like 2012 to like 20. I'll say like 18.
Yep, it's going down, man. We're yelling timber.
Yeah, that's my area of
Kesha.
expertise. But I don't like the Dua Lipas of the world.
Yeah.
Don't know. Like
Right.
I know who I've heard her name. You
Right.
know, there's just so many different people, like the Little Babies and the Billie Eilish is good. That one's fun. But yeah, I don't know anybody. And that's the thing is like my parents, they used to make me listen to like the Beatles, which I love the Beatles. They're like my favorite band. But it's like my parents don't know any new musicians, and like I'm getting to the point. I'm 26. I should be knowing all these people, and I just don't.
Probably true. Yeah, I actually agree with that.
Number 2 on my top 10 things that I'm too young for that I do anyway. You're gonna hate this.
Okay.
Staying in as opposed to going out.
Yeah.
That one, and it hurts
Yep.
me because I like in college, you'd find me out at a bar 5 out of the 7 days of the week.
Oh my God. Really? See,
Probably not. Okay, maybe not that. I like 3,
Yeah.
maybe 3.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
You know,
solid. Friday,
Thursday-
Saturday, and one day during the week.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah,
Like that was like
for sure.
Really, that was really
that's
my
probably,
schedule.
Probably similar to me.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday was typically the schedule.
See, I'm more of an
And-
extrovert
and
than you.
but it wasn't. No, that's not true. I'm extroverted. But it was just like that was something like you did. Like it was just like, oh, that's like not even a question. Right now, it's like if you want me to go out, like you got to tell me like a week before and say, hey, we're planning this, we're doing
See,
this.
that's surprising
or
because
whatever.
you
It's-
drop that on me all the time. I'm like, dude, you got to give me more notice. You have to.
Sometimes I will be spontaneous.
Right.
I have texted you in the past. I'm like, hey, what are you doing right now? Come to this place. And you're like,
I'm
dude,
like, dude, you. Yeah.
it is 11:30 and I have a kid. I'm like,
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, no, but I am the
I'll be
type,
spontaneous every once in a while.
and my wife is very understanding about this. Like I've done pretty well adjusting to having kids in terms of not being able to do as much. I mean, obviously, your schedule is not nearly as flexible.
Sure.
but like there are some days I tell her, I got to go out. Like I got to do something, even if
Right.
even if it's like going to watch sports for a couple hours at a bar.
go to
Like I
Buffalo
got to
Wild
get out of the
Wings or
house.
something?
I gotta. She's more of an introvert. You know, I think Piper's like this too, where it's like she can just kind of stay at home and she's
Yes.
comfortable. She doesn't need to get out.
Very.
I'm like, okay, I can do this and I can do this and I understand this. And then there's like a day that comes and I'm like, I have got to go.
Yeah.
Like I was just thinking driving down to our Kansas Station studios today. I'm like, man, I haven't been like out on Mass Street in forever. Like I need
President's
to,
Bar Crawl.
I need to do this. Yeah. It's like, I need to do this just for like a sanity thing. I think that's just an extrovert thing, but
I think
anyway,
that's
yeah.
fair.
But
No, no,
you
I'll
definitely
do
are
that.
cool staying in. I usually got to do
So,
something.
I'm cool staying in.
At least one
I
night a
actually-
week.
I think I prefer like drinking. Like if I could get like 5 or 6 of my friends like at a house somewhere and drinking. Like, that's my ideal. Like, I think more so it's just, and this ties back to the too loud thing. Like, I don't know if I'm just, like, maybe it's just, like, I'm not crazy about bars anymore. Maybe that's what it is. I like bars, and I'll go every once in a while.
And that's how I am.
It's more of a gradual thing. I don't hate them, but I don't like them as much.
To every once in a while, not never.
Again,
like,
again,
so
it's
that's
a gradual thing. It's not. I'm not completely out on them, but it's.
Yeah.
I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I can, I think it's an easier decision for me to stay in than it is to go out, I think.
Yeah, right.
Number 1 on my top 10 things that I'm too young for that I still do. Grunting when I get up or I sit down. That's a problem. It is a massive problem. My fiance calls me out a lot.
I mean, sometimes my body hurts.
I will make guttural noises
every time. No, you do that at breaks.
I know. And my fiance, she'll be, are you 95 years old?
Right.
What is wrong with you? Are you in serious pain?
Caitlin's like, babe, I'm worried about you. I'm like, I was on the floor. I had to stand up.
Yeah, I got up. No, that's an issue. I'm 27. That shouldn't be happening. That should absolutely not be happening. That is. Yeah, I don't know. I need to get that figured out.
Yeah. Hey, it's the thing, though. I mean, it's fair. Hey, I like that list. Top 10 Tuesday. Any honorable mentions?
I do have some. Standing when you're watching a movie. I'll walk in.
Like standing in the kitchen eating potato chips?
Yeah, like I'll stand there and like Piper will be like watching like Lost. She's big on Lost right now.
I love Lost.
And
shout out to Piper, man. Shout out to Evangeline Lilly as well.
Yeah, well, she'll be watching it, and I haven't been watching it with her, so I don't know what's going on. So I'll like pretend I'm not watching, but then I'll get up and I'll go to the kitchen and I'll stand there with hands on the hips and just.
This is why it's good that we're on video medium on kansasnation.com. They can see you putting your hands on the hips.
Yeah, right. It's important for it's a visual thing. I like sitting on a porch. That's fun.
Yes.
I have that deck at my house, and during the summer, spring, fall,
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I'll just like sit out there and just like look at the trees. It's great. It's wonderful. Dad jokes. I probably
all
use
of your
too
jokes
much.
are dad jokes. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably use them too much for a 27-year-old. Caring too much about the weather. That's a big one. I like the weather, and I take a lot of vitamins. I probably shouldn't.
Really?
I mean, it probably should. It's good for me, but I take a lot of vitamins.
Interesting.
Like
more than a
supplements.
27-year-old?
Yeah, more than a 27-year-old probably should. I've been taking magnesium lately to help me sleep.
Huh.
So that's
Does magnesium help you sleep?
I think so. That's what I heard. That's why I'm taking them.
Okay. Are you sure it's not melatonin?
Nah, melatonin gives me
no idea.
Melatonin gives me weird dreams, and I will not get up in the morning.
Really? Even if you take just like a tiny, like a 2.5
doesn't matter how much it is.
All right.
They just mess me up.
Top 10 Tuesday, courtesy of Dan Courtwright. I'm glad you did that one because you have finally accepted what I've known for quite some time, that you're going to be a great old man. In fact, you might already be there. After this, Bill Self, his press conference yesterday, KU and TCU tonight at 8 o'clock. Hawks got to get back in the win column, 6:30 Crimson and Blue Show. We're going to hear from the two-time national champion after this, ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com. Yesterday's Bill Self press conference. Today is going to be brought to you by Game Day Men's Health Lawrence. Here in Lawrence, Dan, tell us all about Mitch Bales and his team over there.
Yeah, an excellent team over there with Sam Abrams, Mitch Bales. Everybody over there is really, really nice, plush man cave-like setting. And we're talking to all the guys right now. Look, if you're not, feeling 100% like yourself, if you're tired, if you're dealing with some kind of erectile dysfunction or low testosterone, whatever it may be, go to Game Day Men's Health. First visit is completely complimentary. They will do everything that they can to get you back to 100% back in the game. 50% of men over the age of 40 deal with low testosterone, and 60% of men deal with some form of erectile dysfunction in their lifetime. So go get them checked out. Go get yourself checked out, right? I mean, it's really important to check out your health. Guys like to push things off till the very end or just not do anything about it at all. Why wouldn't you go? It's 100% complimentary. So go get yourself checked out at Game Day Men's Health here in Lawrence.
Yeah, tell them the guys over at Kansas Nation sent you. And like Dan said, first visit is completely complimentary. A lot of comments on Darren Peterson, of course, yesterday at Bill Self's press conference, but also some comments on the late Dr. Scott Ward Scooter, who was such an important part in the lives of many Kansas athletes during his time here. Let's hear from the two-time national champion yesterday.
How about it?
I hope this makes sense. Well, you better let somebody else speak first.
I think anytime you work at a place for an extended period of time, friendships are formed and relationships are built. I mean, like Gary's been here a long time, 8 and 9 or 24 and 25 years, whatever. One guy that everybody seems to gravitate to is Scooter. I know this past year he worked with the TBT and he texted us and said, hey, can you come here? Can you come here? And we did. And he treated us just like one of the guys who was welcoming and friendly. And can you just talk about the impact he had at this place, not just from a basketball perspective, but as a whole?
Well, before Scooter ever came to work for the athletic department, if I'm not mistaken, he was had the honor of being basically the teacher of the year out of his department. He was well respected on campus long before he actually came and started working here, even though he knew all the guys in the athletic department. I know Ray Bouchard had a very close and unique relationship with him, as did a lot of guys that played here during Greg's time or Jock's time or Kurt Nick's time and Drew. He had a relationship with everybody, but I believe we officially got him to come over and run our academics, right when we got here. And in that time, he touched everybody. I would challenge anybody to say one negative thing about Scott Ward or Robin in any way, shape, or form. How they treated people. The one time that they had an encounter with him, how it wasn't positive and made them better in some way, shape, or form. So he's special and certainly a huge part of what we have been over time. And you stop and think about the people that he has impacted directly and the ones that he has impacted indirectly without even a close relationship, just because they see how the man operates on a day-to-day basis. So he was a special guy and been suffering so much that I said this the other day, and I think we all that knew him would agree. He's had 9 lives, but he needed a 10th one. But we've all even you guys that just came across him and maybe in a way that was different, but just in any encounter whatsoever, you could say, you know what, being around him and seeing him operate makes you want to be more like him. And I think that's about as big a compliment as you can give a man, that his presence makes you feel good, but also makes you feel that you're not reaching your potential because you see how he conducts his own business. So,
with some greater distance from Saturday's game, what are the main things you want to see you guys do better tomorrow?
Everything. I mean, our communication defensively was poor. We didn't guard the ball at all. We didn't do a lot of things well the other day. Now, granted, they got a nice team and they can score the ball, and we let them get comfortable. But certainly, I think that Henry, that without just putting one thing on it, I thought it was certainly an effort that isn't worthy of winning games on the road against quality competition.
And then based on what happened the other day, how do you want to approach Darren's minutes tomorrow?
Well, I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer. With that being said, I said minute restriction. That minute restriction is there's no guarantee. There's not a medical evidence saying only playing this much or playing that much or anything like that. The one thing I would say, playing him less in the first half is something that we haven't done. So if we haven't done it, would that possibly impact the second half? So don't know, but I'll wait and see how he feels. He felt really, really good the other day, and played obviously pretty well the first half. But the second half, after the first TV timeout, obviously needed to come out, and then sub him in. He makes a three in 15 seconds, and need to come out then too. So don't think for a second that he didn't play down the stretch because of minute restriction. He didn't play down the stretch because his legs didn't allow him to do that. So hope like heck that it'll be better, but we don't quite have the formula yet in how to do this. Nor does anybody have the formula yet. Everybody can be a quarterback from Monday morning quarterback or whatever, but I don't think anybody has the answer specifically on how to handle it, other than the fact he feels well. He's playing. He feels well, and certainly just not quite to the point where he can probably go extended, like we need him to go. So, long story short, I don't really know.
Coach, I wanted to swing back to Scooter real quick. I was wondering if you might offer for the fans and folks on the outside, the insider's view of the fans see athletes and judge them by the competition, by what they see on the court or on the field. From a guy like Scooter, who's really the giant of the department, beloved by everybody, and he's from the academic side and the student life side, and how important that is within this department and for everybody here. Could you help explain what the role of Scooter was and those guys in general in keeping everything running here?
Since Scooter's been here, there has been one person, and that was basically before he got here, that completed their eligibility that does not have their degree. That's a lot of dudes running through here. If you were to go back, better than ask me, but go back and ask Frank and Devontae and Thomas and Marcus and Cole and Dub and Keith, and no matter what era it is, they would say that guy probably had as big an impact on him from an inspiration standpoint and what a man looks like as anybody has. So great guy. He's also, he's a doctor and a sport performance. He could work with the guys in a lot of different ways too, other than from a friendship only type deal. I mean, he helped them with anxiety and what was going on with them and a lot of different things. And so, yeah, he's a unique guy. But the biggest thing that I think he provided our guys and the other student athletes that he worked with, because it wasn't just our guys, but obviously a big role with us, is how could you wake up and feel sorry for yourself or have a bad day when a guy that you watch every day, got to get up at 5 o'clock so he can be at work by 8, with all the different things that he has to do and everything, and never once bitch or moan about it. So that was something that we probably took for granted more than we should have, and but that was he was a big part. He needed to be with us all the time, or our guys all knew something was something missing. So and he was. We took him everywhere, and was proud to have him.
Bill, what's the balance of Peterson when he plays with finding his own shot and kind of also maximizing the other guys on offense to keep them engaged?
I would say, I talked to the guys about this yesterday, in that, do we really know how to play with each other yet? And I used the case in point that when Darren was in the game, Melvin scored 0, and when he's out of the game, he scored 20. That's actually a good and a bad thing. So you're capable of doing it. We just got to learn how to fit and be more aggressive, and everybody learn their roles. I think when I say learn their roles, I think we know our roles. I don't think that we've exercised and practiced our roles in a way that we need to when maybe Darren's out there, as opposed when he's not out there. Now other guys are probably doing things a little differently because you don't have a security blanket as much. So that'll work itself out. That's a good problem to have, and certainly we look forward to trying to solve it. But as far as a balance, I think ball and body movement, and certainly guys staying aggressive to the point where you're not deferring. Nobody wants anybody to defer, but we also have to take advantage of him being out there. And the other thing is we need to play. He needs to take advantage of those guys when he's out there, because just like the first play of the game, 2 guys run at him and Trey gets an uncontested 3. There should be more of that, I think, going on.
And obviously, there's a lot on the line for him with draft stuff and KU, and it's very important for you guys' overall success. But is there any discussion, if the cramps continue, of shutting him down with this camp, with him overall?
No. The kid, he no, not at all. There's people that have their own opinions, on that, but no, that hasn't been one thing talked about that. So we hope it doesn't get to that, obviously, but this is something he's going to have to deal with regardless of timing and all that stuff moving forward. So hopefully we can help him get his arms around that and deal with it.
Billy, you talked about TCU beating Florida earlier this season. Outside of that, is there anything that stands out about that team this season?
Yeah, well, they played well. You look at them. They beat Florida. They beat obviously Baylor yesterday or Saturday. They beat Wisconsin. I mean, they've got some good wins. They play extremely hard. They're not as big, maybe, as what they have been some other years in the past as far as standing height, but they play hard, and they switch a lot, and they deny, and they make it really hard to score. Their defensive efficiency is really up there and really high, and they've always been a team that plays fast. So we'll have to do a good job guarding the ball, and especially in transition. But Jamie and his staff, they've done a good job. They've got a really nice team.
How did El Marco hurt his knee?
Excuse me?
How did El Marco hurt his knee?
I don't know the exact play and how he did it, but that was kind of things that could probably go wrong the other day with Darren. That was probably about as much as it could, considering obviously Melvin getting 2 very quick ones, and Marco's knee bothered him. So we really didn't have a lot of guard depth at that point. But he practiced yesterday, even though we went really light. But practiced yesterday, and hopefully he'll feel better soon. But there's some things about El Marco and his knee coming off patellar tendon surgery that I think some days it actually does feel better than other days. But he'll be fine.
Are they both probable tomorrow?
Yeah.
I was wondering, as a coach, when Darren hit that second half 3, he's en route to 40 points. Maybe things are looking good. Did he just run off? How does he let you know that?
I knew. I asked him. So I knew during the game. One of my coaches said that he motioned something to them, and then I knew it. I knew it then. So yeah, he went back in and stuck to 3, but just couldn't move like he needed to.
Is it getting hard as a coach to coach basically 2 different units when he's in or when he's out?
I don't want to say hard. I think coaches and teams go through this all the time, and when you have a full complement of guys, or maybe you think you do and then you don't, and all that stuff, that happens a lot. So we'll just have to adjust.
Is Dawson's wrist bothering him, or is he okay?
I think he should be fine. I think he's fine.
We saw Samis a lot toward the end of the game the other day. Obviously, Bryson was laboring a little bit, but where is Samis at right now in his development, and how did
Where's
you? Samis.
I think Salmis has done fine. He hadn't really had a chance to play, and we've kind of been happy with how Trey and Flory and Bryson have played together. But I didn't think we got a lot accomplished the other day. And then you're behind, and so you're behind, and you may have to scramble and get your most athletic guys out there. That was as much as anything.
I know Baylor recently signed a guy that had been drafted, and there's been some other kind of weird signings. Do you like the direction it's headed? Do you think it needs to be reeled in, or do you have a kind of thought on how it's all playing out? I mean, it's all different.
Well, first of all, I don't see there's why anybody would bitch and moan about anybody signing anybody that's within the rules. I mean, nobody did anything wrong. It's been vetted and worked on and signed. Now, with that being said, now the rules maybe could use some serious tweaking and adjustments, because why you would allow certain things to happen. But I don't have a problem with it if it's within the rules and the guidelines the way they're written. And then they did a good job in finding out a scenario in which he could be eligible. So nothing there's and I told Scott that. I said, I don't understand why everybody is up in arms over something that's 100% permissible. If you guys get a chance to get a break on your taxes by something that's totally permissible, I mean, are you going to do it? I mean, I don't see the issue. I do see the issue in what everybody said, leadership and where we're going and all those things, because I think we've been on a track where we have absolutely no sail, no rudder in the water, so to speak, and we're just kind of drifting and without a real direction. So hopefully there's be some things. Our sport is still good. Our sport is still good. There's a lot of good things about it, but there's too many things that obviously has occurred and has drawn a lot of attention to it, that hopefully within leadership, some of those things, or most of those things, can be solved. I don't think it's just in our sport too. I think our sport has been the one that has probably been talked about the most in recent time, but other sports have it too, and football will be right at the forefront now that they're in their portal season. And then it may shift back to us or whatever, but I just think as a whole we've got to do a lot of things to get the guardrails back on, so to speak. Primarily in basketball. I don't know anything about football, but primarily basketball.
Bill, you talked the other day about not throwing it into Flory. How much of that falls on him, and what can he do, if anything?
I think a lot can fall on him. I think a lot can, like, we watch tape, and you catch the ball on the perimeter, and the first thing you do is bounce it back in the direction that it came from. Just cost us 2 points because he's wide open, and we don't even look to him. So a lot of it, I think, is on the perimeter, but I think he can demand more too. He and Bryson both.
Just defensively, what has made this group so good, and even without forcing turnovers, is that a concern for you at all? And do you want to see maybe more havoc created?
Sure, but I don't think you can say what has made this group so good, because we absolutely sucked on Saturday. So I don't think that's really the correct thing to say. I think you could say we have been good in stretches and in times, but not consistently like we need to be. Causing havoc is part of it, which we didn't do the other day. But rebounding is part of it too. Talking is part of it too. Paying attention to scout and report is part of it too. There's a lot of things as part of it that we can certainly get better at. I'm not as hung up on one stat. I'm more hung up on an end result. And our end result the other day was poor.
What did the tape, we talked about defense just now, what did you learn? What did the tape show? Because in almost every other game it was excellent. seems to us.
Yeah, I think that was to your point too. I think attacking switches. I think they did a really good job of attacking switches and attacking our bigs downhill.
Any chance the team was rusty after a long layoff, or are you still happy with the 10 days?
It's a good question. And I could probably say, because I even asked my staff, should we not have, do you try to squeeze in a game? You can probably get more done in practice than you can in squeezing in a game that time of year, all that stuff. But if I'm not mistaken, we had about 21 points with 12 minutes or 13 minutes left in the first half. So that's not, usually when you're rusty, that shows more on offense than it does defense. And so that would just be an excuse, Gary.
All right, thanks, Coach.
That's everything Coach Bill Self said yesterday. KU and TCU tonight, 8 o'clock, the Big 12 home opener for Kansas. TCU beat Baylor on Saturday 69-63, and it was a 6-point loss for KU against UCF. Got to get this one, and then game 2 of this week, KU at West Virginia Saturday, 11 a.m., in Morgantown. So big week, as they will all be here in Big 12 play for KU men's basketball. Should have the full complement of guys. Looking forward to that and hopefully seeing Darren Peterson ball out at Allen Fieldhouse. After this, a little quick preview on KU TCU and maybe a game pick or two. The college basketball slate tonight on a busy Tuesday. Rock Chalk Sports, KansasNation.com, and ESPN Kansas City.
This is Dale Highshaw, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
Miles Schneer's Crown Automotive, founding partner of Kansas Nation. Visit them at crownautomotive.com. Experience the Crown difference. Carfax top-rated dealer, Crown Automotive.
Listen up, guys. A new year is coming, and you deserve to feel your absolute best. Whether you're chasing peak performance, trying to reignite intimacy, or simply want to feel your best, Game Day Men's Health Lawrence is your calling. Situated in a plush man cave setting, their services for testosterone replacement therapy, erectile dysfunction, vitamin therapy, and weight loss are sure to give you the boost you need. Make an online appointment today by searching for Game Day Men's Health Lawrence. Step up your game in 2025 with Game Day.
What's up, everybody? Dan Peterson. Everybody go check out KansasNation.com.
Haney and the Hawks is presented by Jefferson's with 2 Lawrence locations. Home of the best wings in town, 21 signature sauces. You got to check him out. But if wings aren't your thing, how about a burger? They hand patty their certified Angus beef every single day. Also hand bread their tenders. They make their ranch in-house. There is truly something for everybody at Jefferson's. Go see my buddy Brandon Graham and the entire crew at Jefferson's, either on Mass or Wakarusa in Lawrence, Kansas.
Better water now, pay later. What's not to love? Hey, it's Bob with Culligan Water. And for a limited time, we're offering no payments and no interest for 6 months on the water you and your family deserve. Our state-of-the-art residential equipment creates water that's purified, soft, and delicious. Contact us today for details and schedule your free consultation online at CulliganKansasCity.com. Culligan, it's water you love.
Transform your home into a serene oasis with a pro-built pool and patio sunroom. Their expertly crafted sunrooms offer breathtaking views, natural light, and year-round comfort. Whether you're relaxing, entertaining, or simply enjoying the beauty of nature, their sunrooms are the perfect addition to your home. Visit them at 4708 Northwest Gateway Avenue in Riverside to see their stunning selection. Pro-built pool and patio, where your dream living space comes to life.
I'm Ken Logan Jr. and you're watching KansasNation.com.
KansasNation.com, the place to be for all game day coverage and basically all coverage of KU. Transfer portal tracker for Kansas football. And again, Kansas basketball coverage. We've got Kansas women's basketball coverage on there as well. Everything you need. Big 12 breakdowns. If you need to hear something from some of our rivals, you can find that on KansasNation.com as well. Always try to keep you up to date. And always fun during game day as well. We have pre-game videos, post-game videos. We got halftime videos, reactions, everything that you need. And follow us on socials as well. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Rock Chalk Sports is on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Appreciate the likes and the subscriptions on that front as well. Dan, KU and TCU, we previewed this a little bit earlier in the show. Frogs, a nice-looking resume. They've got 3 losses, but one just a 4-point loss to Michigan and the other an overtime loss to Notre Dame. Kind of looking like the strange one that looks more like the exception than the rule was the opening loss, season opening loss to New Orleans, but nice wins over Florida, Wisconsin, and Baylor.
Yeah, I think I actually remember we were in Allen Fieldhouse after a KU game when somebody mentioned something like, oh my gosh, New Orleans is beating TCU right now. And everybody's like, oh, TCU is going to be bad this year. And all of a sudden they have completely turned it around. They have the closest game so far to Michigan, beat the reigning national champions in Florida, beat Wisconsin. They have really good wins on their resume, really good defensive team, a solid 3-point shooting team. Kansas is really going to have to go out and play their best. Obviously, you're at home. It's the Big 12 home opener, so there's going to be a lot of fans there at the Fieldhouse. But Kansas needs this one, and you had said this earlier. This is a must-win, right? You can't start 0-2 in the Big 12 and even have a glimmer of hope of winning the Big 12 regular season, right? I mean, you've got to win this game. This is a must-win. TCU is a lot better than a lot of people anticipated. They have a lot of good pieces around them, really good bigs down low. So Bryson Tiller and Flory are going to have their work cut out for them. But at the same time, you're in Allen Fieldhouse, which makes you feel a little bit better.
Darren Peterson, we want to see out there for as long as he can go. We want to see him finish a game if this is a close game. And you want to see improved play, I think, from those bigs like Bidunga and Tiller. Yeah. Bidunga, can Kansas feed him inside? Can he finish against some of these more athletic teams like TCU? TCU coming in, again, 11-3, 1-0 in Big 12 play. A few college basketball game picks for tonight before we get out of here. Dan, number 20, Louisville hosting number 6, Duke at the Yum Center. Louisville is -1.5. Over-under is 161.5.
Yeah, Duke struggled in their last game, and they haven't looked like the Duke that maybe we thought that they were going to be. I like Louisville in this game. Give me the – okay, so they're – gosh.
Here we go again.
Money line.
Yes.
Yes.
Well done.
Louisville money line, -115.
You don't lay the 1.5. All right, a couple other games. Michigan is ranked number 2 in the country. They are at Penn State. Michigan's -21.5. Do they win another blowout?
21.5 is such a big line, especially in conference play, but Michigan's just too good, man. They're just too good. I just don't see Penn State hanging with them.
All right, he's taking Michigan -21.5. How about this? Florida, they're unranked coming off their national championship season, -9.5. They're hosting number 18, Georgia, over under 174.5.
Yeah, this game's going to be interesting because, like you said, Georgia is ranked right now, and they have a pretty solid program. But Florida, I still think that they have a lot to prove, especially coming off of that national championship. They did lose a lot of guys from that national championship, but it's in Gainesville. I like the Gators in this one at -9.5. I think it's going to be a 10-point win for them.
Florida and St. John's, a couple programs that were ranked high that have been struggling so far. A couple in the Big 12 I want to get to. Number 25, UCF, ranked for the first time since 2019. They are +2.5 in Stillwater against the Pokes.
Yeah, Oklahoma State, they have a good program. But after what we saw against UCF, I think that they have a lot of momentum. Obviously, it's going to be in Stillwater, so it's going to be a relatively tricky game. But give me UCF money line. I think they win this one, +130.
Lightning round. We got 3 more to get to. Rick Barnes' revenge game. Texas at number 21, Tennessee. Tennessee's -10.5.
I like Texas in this game. Texas, I think, is kind of a sleeper. Tennessee has struggled at times, so give me Texas at least to cover.
Tennessee lost to Arkansas over the weekend. Number 14, Texas Tech at number 7, Houston. What a game! Tech is +6.5 on the road.
Yeah, I like Houston in this one, man. I mean, Houston's just too good. I think Texas Tech is not as good as we thought they were going to be.
KU ranked number 22 in the country, -7.5 against TCU.
Give me that 7.5, baby. Hawks win, Hawks cover. Dan Courtwright special.
That's going to do it for Rock Chalk Sports. Stay tuned in to KansasNation.com for all game day coverage tonight. Appreciate everybody listening on ESPN Kansas City as well. For Elijah Schmidt running the operations and Dan Courtwright, Sean Kellerman saying we'll catch you tomorrow on Rock Chalk Sports, KansasNation.com, and ESPN Kansas City.